Hello friends and Happy New Year! 2024 was a busy year for me, and hopefully this year I will have more time for aquascaping. I plan to fill up all those places up there with nano aquascapes to finally fill this 90p and make a contest aquascape. I also have two aquascapes in my other room that are already done, and I just have to bring them here. One will go here and one in the empty space there. I will also do these twins setups. Right now it's just a farm tank here, but I will try to make a special aquascape with a single hardscape. Hopefully I will have enough time to fill up all these places so I can have more to show you. But until then I need to thank you for all the support, and I will invite you to see my top 5 aquascapes that I built last year. Thanks again for support and enjoy the video. I will try to do a very simple aquascape, a nature style aquarium with stripped wood from view and fossil wood. I made a sketch here. Fortunately I have a similar tank, also opti white low iron glass, so let's transfer everything there. First I will try to glue this piece here. I like it there. Again the cotton pad and cyanoacrylate method. We'll add more glue now. With this glue is hard to work inside the tank, so I prefer to use it outside. Here we'll add a bigger cotton pad. Actually I will add a cigarette filter. It works even better than cotton pad because activates the cyanoacrylate right away. I don't like this piece near the glass. I will cut it down. I have a huge tool for this. Okay, now it's much better, I think. We'll glue this piece here to hide the fact that I cut it. Oops, there's spray on the glass. In a natural aquascape you want a barrier between the sand and the soil, so the two of them won't mix together. This is a shadier area. Plants wouldn't grow there anyway. I want all the piece of wood to follow the same direction if possible. I check if I can clean the front glass. The side glass isn't as important, but the front glass is very important. It fits well there actually. I try to hide the stump of the wood there. I'll also add some anubias there. Because this wood isn't stripped, I'm afraid to use any moss in this cape. I only use epiphytes, but no moss. You can use gloves if you prefer. Just be careful with your fingers. I think the rock and the wood selection works well together. Very pleased with this hardscape. Stay tuned for a very quick planting session. If you like the hardscape, please hit the like button so the YouTube will like me as well. I need more soil here for the crypts. These bacopa are too long, so I will cut them. One of my favorite types of Java fern. There are tons of tiny plants here in this vitro cup. Won't grow as fast as the regular one, but I can cover a bigger area with a single cup. Time to cover this corner with some red rotala. The downside of planting without water is the plants will fall into odd positions, so you need to move them away so you can see where to add the next plants, but that's not so complicated. On this kind of natural style aquascape, you want what you had on the right part of the tank to have on the left as well. Not the same amount, but similar composition. A lot of plants in a cup of in vitro, so the tank will look amazing fast. I love this top view of the tank. This single stem Tradescantia Nanook is looking amazing also. As far as livestock, I have 3 Microrasbora Galaxy, 3 Amber Tetra and 3 Rasbora Espe, and some bristlenose pleco and Otosynculus to clean up the glass, and tons of sherry shrimps. I need to play around more with the light settings. Right now it's hard to watch this tank, too much red. Believe it or not, this tank only has 6 weeks from the planting, 45 days actually, but that's 6.5 weeks, and it's already so colorful. If you enjoy it, please show it, smash that like button for me. An aquascape on the edge of the tank? Is it possible? Will it work? This actually turned into a cozy home for my betta fish Spiky. It all started with a crazy idea of adding driftwood to the edge of the tank. Was the foundation for a lush plant growth. I added some cones and leaves along the journey and later became a stable ecosystem with less need of my intervention. Everything started 100 days ago. But first let's talk about the tank. This is rather a cheap setup. It's not a fancy opti-white aquarium. But with some frosted glass and a few tricks, we'll make the most out of it. I use plenty of glue to make sure it holds even after it soaks with water. It's totally fish safe, so don't worry about that. This corner won't be planted. Maybe just an anubias here and there. But on the other hand, for this side of the tank we need all kinds of goodies. It will be heavily planted. The hardscape from this side will complement the one on the glass. I seal everything with aqua soil and it will also boost the plant growth. Using some fine details like tiny rocks and gravel will make everything blend together. Plants are playing a big part for our ecosystem. They are both the kidney and the lungs of our tiny world. So be generous when planting. Use them in abundance. Not all of them will survive. There is some competition even between some plant types. When a plant will melt and fall, another one will rise to fill up the empty space. Just a rule of thumb, the more space you give to a plant, the faster and bushier will grow. But the most important advice is to always add a few fast growing plants to consume the nutrients and keep your fish tank balanced. Adding a few small rocks will hold your carpeting plants down until they root. And always remember to spray your plants so they won't get dry. I couldn't be more pleased about how this turned out. But since I have some hardscape outside, I will add a few room plants, which together with the floating plants will lift up tons of nutrients and keep my water clean. Love doing water changes, just as much as I love my mother-in-law. But they are mandatory when using aqua soil because it leaks nutrients in the water column. First goes in the cleaning crew. Hopefully they will find out some cover until I'll introduce our one and only Spiky, the predator. Don't worry, he's a gentle guy. Betta fish are quite popular in the hobby. People are keeping and breeding them for colors and body shape, but their gene pool got thinner in time, so it means they are less resilient and more prone to diseases. Back in the wild we can mostly find them in Thailand. Their color isn't as vibrant, but at least they are healthy. Plants are thriving, and now that setup is stable,
I can remove the filter and the CO2 addition. Just wanted those as a small boost. Betta fish dislike strong water agitation, but the hardscape deflected the water current. We can go filter free just like a betta fish would love. Unfortunately, when I got Spiky, he was sick as well, but now you can see that he's in top shape, eating all day like a pig and stealing all the food from the poor bristlenose plecos. Sharp points of the hardscape can harm your betta fish, but Spiky knows all the corner of this aquascape like in the palm of his hand. Actually, he's thin, so I don't worry about injuries. Have I mentioned I don't add any ferts in this aquarium? The soil and the fish waste provides enough food for the plants, and plants in return provide plenty of oxygen and filter the water. Peekaboo! Adding cones and leaves will turn my tank into a big herbal tea. But beside the black water effect, the humid acids also cures and prevent some diseases, especially fungal and bacterial ones. A few sherry shrimps found their way in this aquarium, probably when I added floaters from other setups. But Spiky doesn't mind them. He's a gentle betta, not a real predator. Without the regular maintenance, this tank turned into a jungle. He feels like in the wilderness. But I will remove some of the plants and the roots to get him more swimming space. Until now, by leaving this tank going wild, I have obtained something that we all dream for, a self-sustaining system. To be honest, this setup haven't received any water changes in the last couple of months. I just top off with water and give Spiky the daily treats, mostly dry food, but occasionally some frozen one. I can't see any shrimp fries, probably Spiky ate them, so I will try to move the big ones back to my other setup, where they are breeding happily. The fish waste and other decaying matters are turned into food for plants by the beneficial bacteria. But here is 2 months load of poo, so I need to remove a part of it. Otherwise it could generate algae and make my inhabitants sick. It looks like I've missed a shrimp or two. I will catch them later. For the duration of this maintenance, Spiky and the bristlenose are hidden behind the hardscape. In this session I wanted to remove as much plant mass as possible, so the plants that I don't remove will have enough nutrients and will thrive. If you like Spiky's story, give him a warm like and subscribe for him. That will definitely make him happy, as much as a fish would know. The first layer is recycled soil, but I will add some fresh Bio Aqua soil on top of it, some powder as well to help out the tiny leaved plants. We glue the rocks to prevent them from slipping in time. It's not a mandatory step, but this setup will travel almost 300 miles. The stones are locally harvested. They kind of resemble elderly rocks, but I will just call them Carpathian stones, like the mountains in our country. I did my best to hide the fact that I used multiple stones and to create the impression of a single rock formation. Sorry for my voice, this is already my third flu of this season. Details aren't mandatory for an IWAGUMI, and in time will get covered by carpeting plants, but I wanted all the steps of this aquascape to look as nice as possible, even the hardscape by its own, especially because it's a hardscape competition after all. I absolutely love how this hardscape turned out, so natural, not bad at all for my first IWAGUMI. If you don't know what this competition is about, please check out the first video on this playlist. I will link it at the end of this video. I strongly recommend you to use more soil. Not like me, but I have a lot of planting experience and the soil will roll in time, so I prefer to add more later at the back of the tank if needed. Always use odd numbers of rocks, especially the main ones for an IWAGUMI, and the minimal number of plant species. Holding the plant down with the scissors is my pro trick for you. Will make your planting much easier, especially under the water. Who can try to guess how many plant cups I use for this setup? Write me in the comment, and if you get the right number, I will send you over a cookie. Also, if you subscribe to my channel, I'll give you a full box of cookies. careful with the plant selection and make sure you have big enough of a slope so the plants behind the stones will be visible from the front. Now that the planting is done, stay a little more to see how I pack this and ship it to the winner. No worries, I didn't grow hairy arms overnight. It's my father-in-law who is helping me. We use thick styrofoam to protect the original cardboard box of the aquarium. This way the measurements were easy to do. These pieces will prevent the rock from moving and breaking the glass or messing up the scape. The giveaway included the tag also, a filter, a small hang on the back and one light, just like the one in the video. With this giveaway I managed to make one of my subscribers happy for sure. My channel subscriber was picked by using random.org and this was his favorite hardscape. Write me in the comment which one is your favorite from this playlist. This video took me a lot of time to make, so if you enjoy it, please smash that like button. It means the world to me. I made it bulletproof. It won't be shipped by a parcel company, so I'm not so nervous about it. I'm sure it will travel safe. Hi there my friends. It's time to show you how I escaped another aquarium, this time a nano Brazilian aquascape. It's kind of a hybrid because it has also some wood. Brazilian style aquascape usually has only rocks. As always, I first did a small sketch and I don't know if I can build this again from zero, so I will start gluing the rocks before I add the substrate. Wherever there is a contact point, I will add some glue. It looks like there are many type of stones, but it's only a single kind of stone. In this big crack I need a bigger cotton pad. I'll take a piece of the cotton pad and roll between the finger a bigger one. Don't worry about it, it will be hidden by moss and plants. It's much easier to glue it here outside. You can use the classic super glue and will work just fine with cotton pads or cigarette filters. They make a chemical reaction and activate the super glue faster. Something like this for now. I will add some more later. This dragon stones doesn't have a great look, but will elevate the hardscape a little. I need this filling material to give me some height, to elevate the hardscape a little. It happens. I have to rethink everything, rebuild it. Things like this happens from time to time. I want to create some kind of path to this endpoint. I need to add more soil here, so I have to find a way to block it so it doesn't roll over the sand path. I will put a piece of styrofoam to push the hardscape back. It will be covered in sand so it won't show. Glue on the glass. Oh my god, it's such a fiasco. I need to clean it. I need to clean the glass. In time this type of sand will blend together, will mix together and look more natural. Time to add a few details. You don't want to add the details too far away from the main stones. Okay, the hardscape is done. Stay tuned for the planting part as well. If you enjoyed this build, hit the like button. It will motivate me to create more and my videos will be shown to more aquascapers. Let me quickly show you the plant selection. I will use Monte Carlo here in the foreground, on the rocks and between the rocks and the wood. Small anubias and some other epiphytes. I have a lot of Bucephalandra as epiphytes, Hygrophila pinnatifida as well. Another tiny epiphyte, Hydrocotyle tripartita mini. This is the mini variant with a smaller leaf size, almost like Monte Carlo. We'll use some Blixa if I have enough space. Some stems as well in the back. I also have some Rotala green and Rotala achura in vitro. If my stem plants aren't enough, we'll add more soil here in this area. I removed that big wood piece because it actually made the tank look smaller. I only kept the smaller one, and now the path is more wide here in the front, so I have a better perspective. I want to add some fissidens in some key points of the scape. The junction between the white and the red stones look too strong for me, so I try to add some moss there to soften it up. This way of planting will hide the gluing as well, so it's convenient. Let's work on the foreground. I will add some Monte Carlo. A part of it will be glued just like Fissidens fontanus. Not sure if it's possible, but I try to grow some leaves on this crack. If it will grow out of there, it will look amazing. Planting bricks on the other side is much easier. More soil to work with. I help the plants for now with some glue. They will catch hold by their own eventually. It's the same cyanoacrylate glue that I use to the hardscape. Unfortunately, I only managed to glue my fingers, but not the plant. It's not a toxic glue. After it dries, it's completely fish and plant safe. But if you add too much to the plant, it might burn the plant a little. Time for some stem plants, Micranthemum micranthemoides, pearlweed. The root parts doesn't look so good, so I will cut it out, but won't be a problem. The tips will be enough and they will grow new roots fast. We'll sprinkle some soil on top of the plants to make sure they will stay there. It's a nice pro tip for you if you like this dry planting method. Some rotala cuttings. Here is just a few soil because I added those filling bags, so I will add more right on the top of rotala. At least they won't float when I fill the tank with water. Rotala Singapore, much easier to color it up compared to Rotala Hra. Not much planting you can do in only 25 centimeters, but just like any other Brazilian, this will look very lush in a couple of months. I will move the tank to the designated spot. The hang on the back filter already work on some other tanks, so it's full of beneficial bacteria. The CO2 diffuser is waiting for me as well. The light is quite weak for a heavily planted tank, so maybe I will add one of these as well. I will add water from the tank above. If you have a cycled filter and water from other tanks, but you don't add any livestock early on, the bacteria will die because there won't be any food for them. So I add some snails as early as possible to produce some waste. I will do water change every day for next 3 weeks, so I will keep the ammonia at bay. Don't worry about the livestock, they will be just fine. I do this trick very often, but it's not for beginners. I probably can get away without any CO2 injection with these plants, but I would like the tank to get mature very fast so I can show you a nice evolution. This kind of build video takes me a lot of time and effort to create, so it will be nice of you if you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Smash that like button if you like this build. Stay until the end to see the tank evolution. Red root floaters will also bring a lot of bacteria and will consume the nutrients from the water. First I will start with a layer
of tropical soil. Not a lot of soil. Lot of people use Ada Power Sand as the first layer. I will also use some crumbled lava to get colonized by bacteria in a mesh bag. This way I can also reuse it as many times as I want.
In IWAGUMI we normally don't glue the stones, but I couldn't achieve what I wanted other way. The second stone is also glued.
This stone somehow looks like Romanian Sphinx, a part of the Bucegi mountain. It wasn't my intention, but it resembles a lot with the Sphinx. More tropical soil. If you like the hardscape as much as I do, stay until the end to see the planting as well. Here's the plant selection. We'll start with the back of the tank with Eleocharis acicularis. Usually, I plant dry, but this time I will try to wet the soil before planting. With Eleocharis I always start with the external ring. Doesn't matter if it's Eleocharis parvula or acicularis. This will grow like 15 maybe 20 centimeters, so I will plant it mostly in the area where I need a tall plant to pop behind the rocks. I covered a huge area with a single cup. Usually a cup is enough to cover an area as big as your hand is, if you split it well. The soil must be dry for sure, but the aquascaper could have a beer.
A beer is great for inspiration.
With Eleocharis I try to define the hardscape as much as possible, and I also focus to cover the shadier area near the hardscape where Hascecuba wouldn't grow because of the low light.
With all those fancy tweezers, but sometimes I still prefer to plant bare hands.
Tomorrow I will add the water as well. Something like this.
I normally don't record evolution so early, but this tank evolved quite well, very few plant melting. I absolutely love how this scape turned around. I use a cycled filter for this, so that helped me a lot and allowed me to use so many fish early on. I have also made daily water changes until now. I had some diatoms problems, so I replaced the fish with smaller ones to produce less waste, and that also allowed me to drop in many shrimps, a great cleaning crew. These grumpy autosynchronous also helped a lot, and now the tank is clean and ready for a show off. If you reach so far in this video, do me a big one and smash that like button, that way YouTube will like me as well. And subscribe to keep in touch with my next videos, especially a surprise one involving this tank. And if you enjoy the IWAGUMI style, here is another scape for you and my method to propagate carpeting plants for free.